Welcome back, friends. Lost Guy here, and it's time for us to do this case. So here we go. This is my hero voice. So, witness, state your name and occupation for the court. Barock von Zeeks, Old Bailey prosecutor. I presume, Lord von Zeeks, that you heard Prosecutor Sogi's opening precise? I did. It is alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by the arriving police officer. Can you confirm this? Yes, my lord. Then I'm sure the court would like to hear you explain some things away. Namely, why you were there in the room on Fresno Street at the time in question. And what exactly took place. I intend to explain away nothing. I will simply tell the truth. I must say, Lord von Zeeks, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come. But since you became known as the Reaper, a part of me has been dreading it. Your formal testimony then, witness. The facts of the incident. I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the shot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open, and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. That testimony was the whole truth? It was. So, you heard a shot being fired in a room with no living occupants. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes, is that it? You're right, you haven't explained away anything. In fact, that would barely qualify as an excuse. I thought you were my mute apprentice. Yet it turns out you have a way with words. Prosecutor Sogi? It would appear to be a singular tale indeed. Singular isn't the word. It's laughable. What's got into Kazuma? He's not behaving like himself at all. Very well then. Counsel, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Cross-examination. The facts of the incident. Alright, so... Rias. You were investigating the inspector? On... what on earth for? I'm not at liberty to say. Sorry? I'd identified a distinct possibility that Gregson was involved in a case I was investigating. Regrettably, though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed. Is the court to understand, then, that on the day in question you followed the victim to the scene? No, I was privy to his movements in advance. How? I stole into his office in the yard and consulted his diary. Then how did you not see that picture? The address on Fresno Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry. You illegally entered the man's office? In Japan, that alone would constitute a very serious offense. As it does in Great Britain, I assure you. Is that not the case, Lord von Zeeks? I was aware of the possible consequences. So in summary, you're investigating the victim. And yet, you refuse to tell the court why. I didn't realize British prosecutors enjoyed such freedom to choose what to divulge under oath. Why did I ever think I could defend this man?
Hold it!
Had you ever been to the address before? No, never. I only learnt the place as a result of my investigations into Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered, so it was all but impossible to make out anything. But at 5 p.m. the sun would only have just begun down. It would still have been reasonably lit outside. The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from outside, so it was extremely murky inside. I wouldn't have noticed that the victim was already lying on the floor. There was no artificial light in the room, you say. You're quite sure? I'm quite sure that the part of the room where the body was found was very dark. I have a feeling there was a small oil lamp burning on the desk, though I couldn't say for certain. What about the candle? Look, Mr. Nighthawk. The candle's over him, but they weren't lit? There's the lamp there, okay. There's a small desk in the room just here. Yes, I remember. And there was an oil lamp on it, as well as the framed photograph. When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me and started towards the desk to investigate. And what did you find? Nothing. I never actually reached the desk. So, real quick, do we have a picture? We have this, but it does not confirm if it was burning or not. It got burned by the shot, but there's no confirmation of whether or not... shoot. Have we read this? Instantly died from a chest shot. Scratch marks at point of entry. Bullet exit the body from behind. Caliber gun used matches out of standard issue. Okay. We have this, and there's candles there, but we had no confirmation. We have no way to know if the candle was on or not. Window was over here. Potentially could have had enough light for him. Keep pressing. Hold it! So who fired the gun? I have no idea. I didn't see anybody else in the room. Did you say it was very dark in there? Yes, that's right. All I can tell you is I didn't sense another's presence. Then could it be that the gunshot actually oriented from somewhere outside the room? No, that's not the question. Oh. Without doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder. This is going from bad to worse. And you say that's the point at which you noticed the revolver on the floor? Correct. And I foolishly picked it up. That was carelessness on my part. Presumably then, the gunshot you heard came from the firearm that you somewhat hastily took in your hands. In point of fact, my lord, I believe it did not. What? 1 second. History. So he doesn't believe it's the same fire. Okay, that is something to trick him, yeah. What? The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold, and there was no smell of spent powder. But then, where on earth is the gun that was fired? Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer, I'm afraid I can't. I, too, would dearly like to know that. A man, you say? Of the witnesses, I presume? A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume? That's right. One of the street merchants working on Fresno Street. Who are these merchants? A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath the boarded window of the crime scene. A mat seller, a newsmonger, and a peddler. They've all given statements saying they heard the shot. And without thought of danger, they ran inside to see what had happened. Yes, Gina told us about that yesterday, didn't she? They burst through the door with some force, it would seem. They did, and almost gave me a heart attack in the process. But you're supposed to be the Reaper! The first man to come in immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled. A policeman patrolling on Fresno Street heard the commotion, and was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred. Anyway, the men's scream drew my attention in that direction. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. Whoops, hit the wrong button. So, that's Lord Von Zeke's account. You have any thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, mainly that it really doesn't ring true in all sorts of ways. Who fired the gun if there was nobody else there? And how did the corpse just appear in front of him? So, you think Lord Von Zeeks is lying? No, I don't think that. I mean, if he was going to lie, I would expect him to have come up with a more credible story, wouldn't you? Yes, I completely agree. I think he genuinely doesn't know what really happened himself. So we must do what we can to fill in the gaps. Yes, first and foremost, we need more information. Yes, let's go back to the one I screwed up. Here we go, I didn't press here. What do you mean by that? And in what way did the body appear? I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I was concerned, the body hadn't been there until that point. And then suddenly, there it was. Did you perhaps hear the sound of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand? At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying open and the scream of a man who came inside first. Nothing more. I see. After the man fled, I examined the body. I was stunned to find that it was Gregson. Most curious circumstances indeed. How the inspector was killed, or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere, I have no idea.
Objection!
Whoa! That's his voice? Surely the court has heard enough. Huh? My lord, the cross-examination has clearly revealed that the accused, Barrack von Zeeks, is lying on multiple fronts. What? What is that supposed to mean? Good gracious, counsel. The defendant is lying, you say? In his testimony just now, he claims that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark. That's correct. No, that's impossible. Because of the candle, yep, as proven by this candelabrum. How does that prove anything? If you examine the tip of the long candle, you can see it has been blown off by a powerful impact. One would assume that the projectile from the firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle. The problem comes when you consider the other two candles, which are clearly at a different length. Yes, I can see that only the candle that appears to have been struck by the bullet is long. We could reasonably expect someone to have lit all three candles together. I don't think I would. I would do only one candle. If I don't have enough light, then fine, I'll do the others. But let's assume one candle's enough, right? And once they all get melted down, like, once one gets melted down, you switch to the next one, they switch to the next one. That's what I would do, because I'm frugal. Which begs the question of, why only one has ended up longer than the others? That must be because that particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. Ah! That's right. When the candle was hit by the bullet, it obviously went out. But the other two candles would still have been burning, so the fact is, the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. And the accused claimed that he couldn't see the body. Completely contradicts those facts. Not if that happened earlier in the day. And now to the next lie. There's more? The accused also claims never to have visited the scene of the crime before. That's the truth. In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. A board covered from top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings. Yes, that's right, we saw it too. It goes without saying that the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged. However, they included a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago. 10 years ago? This is starting to sound familiar. And there's a common thread linking all of the documents on that board. Indeed. What is this common thread, Counsel? They all relate to cases prosecuted in court by Barak von Zieks. All of them? And furthermore, all of those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted. Good lord. Interestingly, none of those defendants are alive today, because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper. Ah! Oh no! In short, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout, and his base of operations. So we gotta learn that the Reaper was that other guy? The Reaper's hideout? And yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout? No one would believe that. No, the truth is, we've been looking at this backwards. Backwards? Explain, Counsel. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. What? What? Order, order, order. Very well. I hereby state the current opinion of the court. Barak von Zieks is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great service to his country. However, it is with deep regret that I must concur with Prosecutor Asogi's contention that the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts. All I have done is state the truth as I know it. Cosmo's done a brilliant job as ever. He's drawing on his experience as a defense attorney to build his prosecution case, and it's formidable. Counsel, you will submit the board that you just showed the court as evidence. I believe it to be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence. Thank you, my lord. The notice board has been entered in the court records. Take a look at it. And now the prosecution would like to call new witnesses to the stand. Witnesses who saw events unfold on the day in question. They were mentioned in the previous testimony too, if you remember. Yes, the street sellers who heard the gunshot and went running into the room. Very well. Lead the witnesses in. Okay, let's take a look at the court record real quick. Examine this. So, oh, okay, there's things we can look at here. There are details of a whole raft of cases dating back years on here, aren't there? This paper from 10 years ago is browning with age, look! Out of interest, the most recent things appears to be this newspaper cutting here. Oh, it's the same Red-Headed League advertisement that Mr. Sholmes had picked up. And do you remember? There was a red-head hairpiece at the scene too. Was Inspector Gregson an exponent of the Red-Headed League then? Exponent? Oh, hey, what's this? Oh, what's this? Miss Naruhodo, look! Oh yes, it's a smudge of some kind. In fact, it looks just like a handprint. And the color. That's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing. Yeah, bloody handprint on the back. What's that about? Check if there's anything else. The bottom wouldn't have anything, would it? That'd be weird. Anything at the top. Okay. Well, we learned something. The defendant may step down from the witness stand. Certainly, my lord. Drink some water. Are they all gonna be redheads? Nope! Are you kidding? Oh my god, look who it is. That's the peddler for sure. So we have Little Red Riding Hood, an artist, and then that effing guy. Don't necessarily remember that one guy's voice, but we'll see if we can do it. So, witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. What the hell is this guy? Names? We don't use names. Far too fancy for the likes of us. We're just free and easy. Sell what we like, live where we want to live. I give them all our vacant stares. They will walk down Fresno and spin a few words into a verse for them. Ah. Would I be right in assuming that all three of you make your living by selling wares on the street? Everyone calls me gossip. I steal jaunty little tidbits to passerbys, you know. Yo, that voice. Jaunty little tidbits. Got an absolute smasher for you, sir. Right up your guinnel it is. 6pence 'tis the price, and not a penny less. I feel like you gotta lisp that guy a little bit. Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now? Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested. Try the man. Give him the money and see what it is. Pay the man, counsel. Oh my god. Alright. 6pence it is. You won't regret it, sir. Now, got your listening ears on? Just between us, a young couple on Slight Street have just had twins. Is that it? No, that's not it. It's gossip, isn't it? It wants to spread. But that bit's up to you and your mouth, of course. I've got more, you know. Want another juicy one? 6pence apiece it is, if you're curious. I am curious, yes, about what's going on just under that fat bottom lip of yours. Namely that unusual bruise or whatever it is that's poking out from under your collar. Looks like he got hung. What about the next witness, then? What name do you go by and what do you sell? Me, I'm Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, ain't it? I sell these lovely little firecrackers to all the local school kids. Oh no! 6pence a pop. What do you say? Okay. You weren't exaggerating with little. Do they actually sell? Oh yeah, the second years can't get enough of my Venus's firecrackers. Especially when I tell them that if they get 100, they could blow up the school. Oh my god! Not the most savory of ideas, young lady. What'd you say then, eh? Want a pop with 6pence for a pop? Wait, what? You don't want me to buy one? Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you could blow up the whole courtroom. Oh my god, no. Try the woman. Give her the money and see if she's right. Pay the woman, counsel. Alright, I'll buy one. Lovely stuff, right then. This is something a bit extra just for you. The Venus Special. Only 600pence. 600? It's 100 of my regular firecrackers. Nothing little about that, is there? And there'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. Venus Firecracker has been entered in the court record. Why? Take a look at those real quick. What the hell's going on here? Take a look at the wick. Or not the wick. What that thing? The fuse. Have you had an idea, Mr. Naruto? You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks. Sorry, it's just that it's the Venus Special. I was wondering what 600pence worth of fireworks would sound like. Shall we find out? What? But, she said it could blow up the courtroom. Bang. Alright, that was a fairly sizable bang. My ears are still ringing, Mr. Naruto. It sounded almost exactly like... Yup, there it is. Sounds like a gunshot. That means... Freaking, Gumshoe was our... Not Gumshoe. Gregson was already dead, and they used that to sound like a gunshot. Interesting. So he was dead for a while then. Here's the thing. Okay, so instant death, but it doesn't say how long since they got they saw the body. And there's no way to know, I guess. Woo! Yeah, is there a way to know rigor mortis at this point in... Maria Gori, really? Is there a way to know how long he was dead at the time? That's the real important thing. If they could figure that out. But I don't know if that's something they could figure out at this time. Period. And the last witness. What name do you go by and what do you sell? I'm the thinker, me. Think all sorts of thoughts, I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. As I stand there on the street, watching the whole world go on about me. They call me the Observator. Get out of it, old man. Everyone calls you Sandwich, and you know it. Wait, that's his Cosmo's voice. What the hell was that? So you don't actually sell anything? If a problem shared is a problem halved, as they say, I give advice, I do, and I think what it means. Sandwich board. They don't actually sell anything, no, come to think of it. Hot actual hobo? Pity. No more purchases today, please. Well, we have quite a cast here, it seems. They conduct their business on Fresno Street from morning until night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene. I see. And thus they heard the gunshot, I suppose. Not only that, but they very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witness the crime. I already forgot the voice I get this guy. Well, I'll be buggered, I thought. Just between us. Venus de Milo, what am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw. What I think is, if all what we see is light and shadow playing with our eyes, is any of it real? Very well. The court will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. You will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident. Let's do this thing. This guy bothers me. Here we go, clown voice. We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything from the moment they went in the building. It was less than a minute after the Reap had gone inside that we'd all heard a big bang. Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go and see what had happened. I ran into the room and there he was, the Reaper gun in hand, standing over the dead body. I was scared half to death, me, so I ran out to find a copper. Alright, that's it? Okay. If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Mr. Gregson, and the accused, Barrack von Zeeks. I've seen pictures of that Reaper in the paper, but I know what it looks like. And just between us, folk love stories like this. I've made myself a tidy sum already. But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied. Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot. The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. And we know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Hugh Bone. Hugh Boone. The testimony of the court has just heard would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant could have committed the crime. Here's the question, where's Hugh? No! Thank you for your candor, my lord. Where's Hugh? Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examine the witnesses. Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony. Somehow. Let's press, everyone. Hold it! I feel like you do a Bugsy voice for this guy, but I don't know how to do that voice. When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Von Zeeks? I suppose so. The likes of us don't know the names of high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing. It was the old Reaper that went in last. That's for sure and certain. Yeah, do one side of the throat, the mouth. That seems to do well. Just behind Inspector Gregson. Did they arrive at the same time as each other? No, not at all. The first fellow must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before we heard the gunshot. The victim arrived 15 minutes before? Are you sure about that? Am I sure? Does it seem likely that I'd forgotten a fellow with bright red hair like that, does it? Yeah. His hair really were red, weren't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks, even. That fiery red mop still burnt and on the inside of my eyelids, it is. Wait a minute! You're saying the man was a redhead? Weren't you listening, chum? Aye, he was a redhead. And he had a big trunk with him as well. Where's the trunk? But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red. Not by any stretch of the imagination. It seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct. What? Oh, now we get a picture. Just have a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene. Now we have confirmation Gregson's dead. Oh god. Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, all right. And a red headpiece. Ah. Of course, we saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we? I still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a headpiece, though. So then, why on earth would he have been wearing something like that? The color does seem to suit the man, one might say. The photograph will be submitted as evidence, please, Counsel. I'll take a look at that. I don't think we can examine it, though. He took a shot. Freaking A, Gregson being dead. Real quick, let's look at the toupee. We looked at the inside. There's nothing on the outside to look at. Okay. But what became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying? I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene. So it just disappeared? Seems bad. What do you expect it was us to have been watching the building every second, do you? We definitely saw him in the dark going in, though. No question about that. Hold it! By which presumably you mean the gunshot? I sell these little things, don't I? How would I know what a gunshot sounds like? But I've always thought it probably sounds a bit like this, doesn't it? Here's the thing, she just revealed that to us. You say that you heard a noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant here entering the building? That's right. It was almost straight away. Bang, it went. Just like that. Well, he's the Reaper, ain't it? Ain't it? It's what the French call a fait accompli. When the Reaper's around, people are going on in the ground. I mean, that's what he does, ain't it? I think we get the message. The Reaper couldn't allow the Inspector to live after he'd discovered his secret hideout. Getting mixed up in voices. There can be no clear motive for the crime. Yes. It's certainly an eminently credible motive. Right. And at that point, you ran inside. Is that correct? Hold it! So when Galsop ran to see what had happened, did you go too? Well, me, I'm a bit hampered. Well, the signs are that I can't move very well. You were way behind, presumably with that sandwich board around your neck and that big sign in your hand. What a great burden you bear. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but is it possible you and I have met before? I'm not anybody mean. The signs are what make me who I am. My son, therefore I am. So you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago, then? I might be mistaken, but I believe his trembling has intensified, Miss Naruhodo. Yes, I agree. He's clearly been through a lot. Turn down King Henry Street, and the Black Widower's arms is just there. Oh dear, you've made him hide behind his sign. Life is full of surprises. You did steal money, so... Hold it! So then you were the first to arrive on the scene, is that right? That I was. Kicked the door down, opened like a professional I did, and yelled out, "What's going on here?" Lord Von Zieks claims all he heard was a man scream, though. And was it dark inside the room? No, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall. Really? And there was a fellow collapsed on the floor. Just between us, that's the first thing I noticed when I got inside. Ah, I see. Even though Lord Von Zieks claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall. The next thing I noticed was someone standing right up beside the body. The accused, Barak Von Zieks. That's right, the pale-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I won't deny it. But I'm no lily-livered or coward. I stood my ground and gave that Reaper a cold, hard stare myself. Not really, because someone ran out, and that's gotta be him, and that's what he's going like, didn't you run out? And was there anyone else in the room at the time? No, of course not. Not at all. Wasn't she in there? And then this old stiff came waddling along behind me, of course. Only him, mind. I can't handle stairs so well, as you can imagine. Especially on the way up. And you couldn't have just failed to see someone? It was a bit dingy in there, I grant you. But there were the candles on the wall and the lamp on the table. There was nowhere anyone could have been hiding, you mark my words. Ugh. Go back. Excuse me? I didn't remember just talking this much, jeez. There it is.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich? There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head I am, just two slices, no middle. So I don't know what you could want with me. I think that maybe you just remembered something. Having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean. What I think is, well, no, nothing's really. We tried to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're just all street sellers. That's enough out of you, Good Sandwich. Keep your trap shut. Unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich. Well, when he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside. That's it? Oh, you rotten beggar. I told you to keep that a secret. He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled up on all fours. That's all I wanted to say. Mr. Gossip, is this true? The floor was dead slippery, that's why. Planted my hand in a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck. What? A pool of blood? Well, listen here. Even when I was sprawled on the floor, I still kept giving that Reaper a cold hard stare, and don't you forget it. Let's just go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hand? I did, eh? It happens to the best of us at times, doesn't it? I was a little scared, so I slipped over. We couldn't keep it just between us, can we? No, Mr. Gossip. I'm going to have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony. Yeah, kind of important. Oh, if I must. Man. The witness will amend his testimony to include the aforementioned details at once. I slipped over and got blood on my hand, so I quickly wiped it off on the floor. We didn't see a blood print on the floor now, did we, though? Press that. You wiped your hand on the floor? Well, who wants blood on his hand, eh? Horrible stuff, and they might have thought I'd done it. Huh, no tie. And you didn't think that might be a problem? Does it really matter if I left a few grubber handprints on the floor? They'll be cleaned up in the end, won't they? Don't make such a fuss. That's the message from all of us. Is something wrong, Counsel? No, my lord. I didn't remember anything in the report about a bloody handprint on the floor. That's all. Don't come at me with all that. You can't intimidate me. I know what I did. I wiped it off on the floor, the blood. This voice keeps changing as I'm going with it. I wonder, could that be what happened? Miss Naruto, we know there's a blood handprint somewhere. I don't have all the answers yet, but I think we may have just uncovered a vital clue. But we'll hit that next time. Because let's finish all the testimony and the next time we'll do that. Hold it! So you didn't run into the room with your friends? I'm not that sort of girl. Sorry? I'm a timid little thing, mate. I was too scared to go in there. Oh, right, I see. Old Lippy and the witch ran in there, and then I heard a sort of an old lady scream. Well, that wasn't me, I swear. If I were a gentleman, I'd stake my honor on it. I wondered what on earth was going on. Which is when you went to find a policeman? And I ran into a cop as soon as I turned the corner. So I brought him straight back to the place. Didn't I do well? Eh? Just between us, that cop's eyes nearly popped out of his head when he saw the Reaper. I've never felt more uncomfortable in all my life. And the defendant was arrested on the spot, I believe. Considering the catalogue of killings the Reaper had carried out, it was a particularly inauspicious end. If I can't find any holes in this testimony, I'm afraid the judge will give a ruling of guilty, Miss Naruto. The truth is, though, their combined testimony is fairly damning. Unfortunately, there don't seem to be any obvious problems with their statements, do there? Still, if Lord Von Zieks really is innocent, then I'm almost certain that we'll find something in there that doesn't quite add up. You don't think that one of these three could be the true culprit, do you? I don't know, but what I do know is that there's more to this case than has yet to be brought to light. Let's hit the contradiction, and we'll pause at that spot. Now, come here. Now, in case somehow I am hella wrong here, let's save first. Okay. Well, I doubt I am. Present. Objection. Yep, there, music died. Okay, yeah, that's the spot. So next time, we will do it here. So that is the game for now. I had fun up from watching. That's what's all about it. Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and I'll see you next time.